The loudest person in the room is often the most predictable. Their noise is a map of their insecurities and their need for external validation. But the person who remains silent, posting nothing and revealing less, is the one you should truly fear. They are the only ones watching you. They operate without a digital footprint, leaving you with no data to use against them. You are exposed while they remain entirely invisible to your senses. By the end of this deep dive, you will understand why their silence is not peace. It is a calculated form of psychological dominance and survival. We have been conditioned to believe that sharing is a sign of connection. We think that posting our lives creates a bridge to others. In reality, digital transparency is a trap you set for yourself. Every post is a piece of data that others use to categorize you. When you post, you surrender the power of mystery. You give the world a manual on how to influence, trigger, or even replace you. The person who posts nothing is refusing to hand over that manual. They understand that information is the primary currency of modern social survival. By remaining silent, they retain 100% of their strategic advantage. They see your patterns, your weaknesses, and your shifting emotional states every day. You, however, see nothing of theirs. This creates a massive power imbalance that tilts the social scale entirely in their quiet, steady favor. Most people think those who don't post are boring or lonely. This is the first mistake that leads to a total loss of control. While you are busy seeking likes, they are busy observing the room. They are collecting the very things you are throwing away for free. Robert Greene often speaks of the power of saying less than necessary. In the digital age, saying nothing at all is the ultimate weapon. Silence is not an absence of thought. It is a vault where the most dangerous observations are kept away from the prying public eyes. When you reveal your joys, you show people exactly what to take. When you reveal your pains, you show them exactly where to strike. The silent observer watches you build your own cage. They see the bars long before you even realize you are trapped inside them. This behavior is not about being shy or antisocial. It is a primal instinct to remain hidden while the tribe exposes its soft underbelly. Evolution taught us that the predator who stays downwind survives. The one who makes the most noise is the one who is hunted. In our modern world, the noise is your feed. Your constant updates are a signal fire that tells everyone exactly where you are standing. The person who posts nothing is staying downwind from you. They are gathering intelligence while you are providing it at no cost at all. This creates a neurological loop where you feel seen, but they feel powerful. You are addicted to the gaze. They are addicted to the truth. They know that once a secret is shared, it is a liability. By keeping their lives private, they remain a riddle that cannot be solved. You cannot manipulate what you do not understand. And you cannot understand someone who refuses to give you any data points to track. This is the only place where the veneer of social media is stripped away to reveal the cold, hard mechanics of human interaction. If you are ready to stop living in the dark, join those who seek this uncomfortable truth. Decide now to subscribe and see clearly. Click the subscribe button to move beyond the surface. Only here will you find the reality that others are too afraid to even acknowledge. But even as you realize this, a darker question begins to surface. What exactly is the silent person doing with the data you give them? The answer lies in the way their brain processes your public displays. They are not just watching, they are mapping out your eventual decline. As we go deeper, you will see how their silence is actually a form of social engineering. It is a slow, methodical game of chess. The next layer reveals the neurological advantage of the void. You are about to see why your need for attention is their greatest asset. Stay quiet. The truth is much heavier than the lies you have been told. The human brain is a machine designed to close open loops. When we see a gap in information, we feel a physical need to fill it. The person who posts nothing creates a permanent open loop in your mind. Because you cannot see them, your brain works over time to imagine them. This is a form of involuntary mental real estate. You occupy their feed with your content, but they occupy your thoughts with their absence. While you are chasing dopamine hits from notifications, their brain is operating in a state of high-level cognitive clarity and calm focus. Every time you post, you experience a brief spike in neurochemicals. This spike masks the reality of your surroundings and dulls your predatory instincts. The silent observer does not suffer from this chemical fog. They maintain a baseline of objective awareness that allows them to see through you. They understand the neurological loop of social validation is a leash. By refusing to wear the leash, they remain the only free agents. Evolutionary psychology tells us that mystery is often equated with high status. We assume the person who hides must have something worth hiding. This perceived status gives them an immediate psychological edge in any room. You begin to defer to the person you cannot easily categorize. They are not being humble or private for the sake of virtue. They are conserving the mental energy you waste on managing your public persona. Think of the energy required to curate a perfect life online. That energy is being diverted away from your actual survival and your long-term goals. The person who posts nothing is investing that same energy into observation. They are watching how you react to stress and how you seek praise. They see the cracks in your armor that you try to hide with filters. To them, your digital presence is a roadmap of your deepest insecurities. Social engineering becomes effortless when the target provides all the intel. You are telling them exactly how to win your favor or trust. Leon Festinger's theory of social comparison explains why you feel uneasy. You compare your messy reality to their absolute, impenetrable silence and you feel exposed. This silence acts as a mirror that reflects your own desperation back at you. It makes you talk more, just to fill the uncomfortable psychic space. The more you talk to fill the void, the more secrets you leak. You are literally feeding the person who is most likely to eventually replace you. This is the survival instinct of the apex predator in the digital jungle. They don't need to roar to let you know they are there. They let your own imagination do the work of intimidation for them. Your brain naturally fears what it cannot see or predict in the dark. They are the shadow in the room that everyone notices but no one mentions. Their power grows in direct proportion to your need to be seen. You think you are winning when your post gets shared or liked. They know they are winning because they remain a complete and total enigma. By the time you realize they are a threat, they already know you. They know your friends, your habits, and your most predictable emotional triggers. The void they create is not empty. It is a vacuum that pulls you in. You are being sucked into a game where you have no pieces. As your pulse quickens, they remain still and perfectly composed. Their neurological baseline is steady while yours is constantly fluctuating with every new comment. But understanding their silence is only the beginning of the horror. The real danger is not just that they are watching you right now. The true threat is what happens when they decide to finally speak. Their words carry the weight of months of silent, cold, and calculated observation. In the next layer, we will look at the architecture of their judgment. You will see how they use your own history to build your cage. The silent person is not just ignoring you, they are archiving you. They are building a mental library of your predictable patterns and your moral failures. While you are performing for an audience of strangers, they are the judge. They see the gap between who you claim to be and reality. Every post you make is a confession of what you lack. If you post about success, they see your desperate need for external social status. If you post about your peace, they see the inner turmoil you hide. They look past the image to the hunger that drove you to share. This is the cold science of behavioral observation in its purest form. They are identifying the exact buttons that trigger your most basic emotional responses. Human nature dictates that we cannot help but reveal our true selves. Over time, the masks we wear online begin to slip and eventually crumble. The person who posts nothing never has to worry about a mask. They remain a blank slate onto which you project your own deepest fears. They use cognitive dissonance to their advantage by staying perfectly still. Your mind tries to reconcile their silence with your own constant need to speak. Because they provide no counter evidence, your brain assumes they are superior. You begin to monitor your own behavior more closely when they are around. This is the essence of social engineering without uttering a single word. They have altered your behavior simply by existing as an unreadable, silent entity. They understand that the person who talks the most is the most vulnerable. Every sentence you speak is a potential weapon for someone else to use. By saying nothing, they remain unarmed and yet completely and utterly dangerous. You cannot strike a target that does not exist in your field. Think of a poker game where one player keeps their cards hidden. You are playing with your hand face up on the table for everyone. They are calculating the odds of your failure while you are distracted. They see the tells you don't even know you are giving off. Relatable scenarios of this are found in every office and social circle. It is the person who listens to everyone's gossip but shares absolutely none. By the end of the day, they hold the keys to everyone's secrets. They have become the invisible gatekeeper of the group's most sensitive private information. They are not your friend, they are a collector of your human weaknesses. They wait for the moment when your information becomes a valuable social currency. This is not a malicious act in their eyes, but pure survival. In the wild, knowing the terrain is the only way to avoid the traps. You are the terrain, and your posts are the landmarks they navigate. They know where the soft ground is and where the cliffs begin. They are practicing a form of psychological camouflage that is ancient. It is the instinct to blend into the shadows to avoid being hunted. But unlike the prey, they are not hiding because they are afraid. They are hiding because they are preparing for the inevitable social shift. When the environment changes, the loudest people are the first to fall. They are too invested in the old status quo to adapt quickly. The silent observer is already packed and ready to move forward. They have no public reputation to defend and no digital ego to protect. They are the only ones who can see the cliff you are approaching, and they have no intention of warning you as you walk toward it. The psychological weight of being watched is starting to settle in your chest. You are beginning to realize how much you have actually given away. But the most unsettling part is not the data they have collected. It is how they plan to use that data to replace you. In the next layer, we will examine the mechanics of the silent takeover. You will see how the void eventually consumes everything you have built. The power of the silent person is not just in what they know. It is in the absolute control they have over their own social availability. By posting nothing, they create a high demand for their presence. You find yourself seeking their approval because it is the hardest to get. This is the law of scarcity applied to human psychology and behavior. We naturally value the things that are the most difficult to obtain. While you are making yourself common and accessible, they are becoming rare. They are the premium product in a market flooded with cheap, loud noise. They use this scarcity to infiltrate your inner circle with ease. People trust the silent one because they seem to have no obvious agenda. In reality, their agenda is the most sophisticated one in the room. They are positioning themselves to inherit the influence you are currently bleeding out. When a crisis occurs, the loudest people usually panic and lose credibility. Their public history of emotional reactivity makes them unreliable and very weak. The person who posts nothing remains the only calm center of gravity. Everyone turns to them because they are the only ones left uncompromised. They step into the power vacuum without having to fight for it. They simply wait for you to exhaust yourself with your own public performance. This is social engineering at its most efficient and most lethal level. They don't have to tear you down when you are already doing it. You are building a house of cards with every post and every like. They are just waiting for a slight breeze to knock it all down. They understand that social hierarchies are fluid and always in constant motion. The person at the top today is the target for everyone tomorrow. By staying out of the spotlight, they avoid becoming a visible target. They watch the leaders fall while they remain safely tucked in the shadows. They are the gray man of the digital age, perfectly camouflaged. They look like everyone else, but they are thinking like no one else. This is a survival instinct that traces back to ancient tribal structures. The silent hunter was always the one who brought home the biggest kill. They are not interested in the applause, they are interested in the outcome. They would rather have the power than the fame that ruins it. They see your need for fame as a biological glitch to be exploited. They use your vanity to keep you distracted while they move the pieces. Every time you look for validation, you are handing them the remote. You are giving them the power to turn your emotions on and off. They can trigger your anxiety just by withholding a simple like or follow. They control the emotional climate of your life with their total absence. It is a form of psychological dominance that requires zero physical or verbal effort. They win by simply refusing to play the game on your terms. You are trapped in a loop of seeking attention from someone who ignores you. This loop keeps you subservient to their silence and their hidden judgment. The silent person is the one who will eventually decide your social fate. They are the jury that has been watching your trial for years. They have seen all the evidence you have provided against your own self. They know exactly when to walk away and leave you behind forever. You are realizing now that your digital footprint is actually a digital grave. You have spent years digging at one single post at a time. But there is one final truth that is even harder to swallow. It is the realization of what you have become in their eyes. In the final layer, we will look at the quiet realization of the end. You will see the world through the eyes of the one who watches. The silent observer looks at your digital life and sees a ghost. You think you are proving your existence, but you are actually erasing it. To them, your constant posting is a form of social suicide. You are giving away the only thing that makes a human being truly valuable. That value is found in the things that cannot be known or bought. By making yourself a public commodity, you have lost your inherent human worth. The person who posts nothing is the only one who is truly alive. They are experiencing the world without the filter of an imaginary audience watching. They see you living in a state of permanent, exhausting performance art. They watch you record your dinner instead of actually tasting the food. This is the ultimate survival instinct, the ability to exist without validation. While you are starving for attention, they are feasting on the truth. They realize that the most dangerous person is the one who is content. If they don't need your approval, you have no power over them. You are realizing now that your screen is actually a one-way mirror. You are looking at a reflection while they are looking directly at you. There is a quiet horror in knowing that someone knows everything about you. It is even worse to realize they have decided you are irrelevant. They have watched your highlights and your low points and felt nothing. Your life has been a data stream for their cold, analytical amusement. They don't hate you. They simply find your need to be seen very small. They see you as a biological script running on a loop of insecurity. The realization hits that you have been talking to a wall for years. The wall was actually a person who was carefully taking notes on you. They will move on to the next person without leaving a single trace. You will be left with a feed full of memories and a hollow heart. They have won the game of social survival by refusing to even sit down. They are the masters of the void that you are so afraid to face. While you were busy building a digital monument, they were building a real life. Their silence was the sound of them moving ahead of you. You are standing in the light, exposed, blinking, and completely and utterly alone. The person in the shadows has already turned their back on you. They don't need to say goodbye because they were never really there with you. They were only there to watch you fall into your own trap. The most dangerous person in the room is the one who remains hidden. They are the only ones who know how the story actually ends for you. You might feel the urge to delete everything and disappear into the dark. But the silent observer knows you are too addicted to the light. It is a lonely feeling to realize your own transparency is your greatest failure. You have traded your misery for a handful of digital dust and noise. The truth is that most people would rather be exploited than be ignored. You have chosen exploitation, and the silent person has graciously accepted it. In the end, we all become exactly what we have given away to others. You are now a public record, while they remain a private, powerful mystery. Next time you reach for your phone to share a piece of yourself, stop. Look around the room for the person who isn't doing the same. They are the one who will eventually own the space you are standing in. They are the only ones who are truly prepared for what comes next. It is a quiet realization, but it is the only one that is actually real. The void is not a place of fear, but a place of power. Some people spend their entire lives trying to be heard by the world. The truly powerful spend their lives making sure the world hears nothing. Perhaps the person who posts nothing is actually just waiting for you to finish. Would you like me to analyze another behavioral loop or explore a different dark corner of human nature?